And welcome back to the NFL Today, where Coors Light takes you first on the field. The Raiders and the Buccaneers are taking to the field, so let's head out to Tampa, where Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon are standing by. Gentlemen.
Happy holidays, everyone, from beautiful Tampa, Florida, under sunny skies with 70-degree temperatures as the Oakland Raiders take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And after jumping out to a 9-3 start, the Buccaneers have lost their last 3. Tampa Bay will look to right the ship today, needing a win and some good fortune to get into the playoffs for John Gruden. Raider Nation is smiling again after last week's win against the Houston Texans. Today, they'd like nothing more than to sack the Bucs and dance on their playoff dreams. It is a very simple formula for the Buccaneers to make the playoffs. They need to win today, and they need Dallas to lose at Philadelphia later today. It all serves as the backdrop for the NFL's final regular season weekend. Hi again, everyone, with former NFL MVP Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's see. We talked about Tampa Bay beginning 9-3, 3 straight December losses. Why the collapse here when it matters the most in the season?
Well, Kevin, a once proud Buck defense has broken down the last 3 weeks, and now their playoff hopes are hanging in the balance. It all started with Carolina rushing for almost 300 yards against them, followed by another 175 from Atlanta. And then last week, it was Phillip Rivers' turn. He threw for 4 touchdowns. This defense right now is reeling, and they are not playing with very much confidence.
I know you've watched a lot of tape this week on the quarterback for the Buccaneers, Jeff Garcia. What do you see when you watch him?
Well, he's not your prototypical NFL quarterback by any means. He's not the biggest guy. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's 38 years old, but he somehow finds a way to get the job done. And the one thing he's not lacking is toughness. This guy is a fabulous competitor. The thing I like about him, he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He gives his team a chance to win, Kevin, each and every time out.
Now let's bring our attention to the Oakland Raiders. This is a team which comes in with 4 wins today. They have a new coach, an interim coach in Tom Cable, who took over after week 4 when they fired Lane Kiffin. 3-8 under Cable. That all being said, the Raiders, Rich, think they are making progress as the season goes on. Do you think they're making progress?
There's no question. They certainly are. I think it's with their younger players. You look at a player like Justin Fargas. He's been their most productive and consistent player so far this season. I know if there's a back in the game who runs as hard as he does. And then it's Russell. He's starting to figure things out as well. He had maybe his best game in last week's win over Houston, throwing for 2 touchdowns and a spectacular 128 quarterback rating.
Well, we just saw that pass right there to Johnny Lee Higgins. There are a lot of emerging offensive stars on this Raider offense, but maybe at the very top of that list is this young receiver, Johnny Lee Higgins.
Well, Tampa Bay is concerned about Johnny Lee Higgins, so much so that they spent extra time this week working on their coverage units. Higgins leads the Raiders with 6 touchdowns, including 3 by way of punt return. He scored 2 touchdowns again last week. He definitely has the attention of John Gruden and the Buccaneers.
All right, we've set the table. Right now, let's take a look at our tools to victory today, brought to you by the Home Depot.
Well, the battlefield position is always critical, especially when you're up against the league's best punter, Pro Bowler Shane Leckler. Nobody's better at pinning you back like this guy. And Antonio Brown, he's been on a roll the last 3 weeks, hauling in 23 passes for 435 yards. Garcia must find a way to get him the ball early.
And all that being said, what about your keys today?
Oakland has simplified things offensively the last few weeks, and it seems to have helped their production. Simple is sometimes better, and for Tampa Bay, it's not hard to figure out. You take care of business today against the Raiders and hope that Philly could do the same versus the Cowboys.
And for more Home Depot player stats, log on to CBSSports.com. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a very important game taking on the Oakland Raiders. Coming up your way next on CBS. the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they play the Oakland Raiders. Our broadcast today is brought to you in high definition by Sony. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. Our kickoff is next. Absolutely gorgeous day for the Raiders and the Bucs. There's Tom Cable. They elevated him from the offensive line coach. He'd love to be the head coach of this team. He'll meet after the season with Al Davis. And a former Al Davis employee is John Gruden, now in his 7th season here. In his first year, he won the Super Bowl. Raiders won the flip of the coin, and they will receive, and Matt Bryan will be kicking off. A guy who's got 3 game-winning field goals this season. Deep back is Justin Miller. They signed him mid-season. The former Jet, 2 touchdown returns on kickoffs this year. The wind is at the back of the Buccaneers to start. Here we go. The Buccaneers and the Oakland Raiders in the season finale. Miller into the bright Florida sun, looks in from the 7-yard line. He got a block from Cooper. He's being chased by Talib and brought down at the 50-yard line. A terrific return. It's a 41 yards. And that gives quarterback Jamarcus Russell some great breathing space coming off one of his best games of the season. In the last 2 games, he has thrown 4 touchdowns and only 1 pick. Left tackle Mario Henderson makes his 5th consecutive start. And Johnny Lee Higgins has become the big play performer on offense. And his punt return ability has been terrific this season. So the Raiders will begin it at their own 49 with a 1st and 10. They bring McFadden, the running back, as a receiver atop your screen. Bottom of your screen, they got Higgins. 1st and 10. The tight end, Stewart, in motion out of the backfield. Justin Fargas with the block by Henderson. Tackled on the play by Rude. And also hit by Cato June. Gain of 5 to the 46-yard line. Now the Buccaneer defense. John Gruden says that the Bucs' first-round pick a couple years ago, Gaines Adams, needs to have more production for this team to win. Linebacker Barrett Rude leads the defense in tackles for a 2nd consecutive season. And Tanar Jackson is developing into a very good safety, something they know all about here in Tampa with the recent retirement of John Lynch still fresh on their minds. There is a player down for the Raiders, and it is Jake Grove, the center. And the backup center, Wade, is inactive today. Former Buccaneer. So we have an injury timeout after the first play. 14:32 to play in the first here from Tampa, Florida. Chris Morris, 51, will take the place of Jake Grove, who is injured. He is a center. 2nd down and 5 as a quarterback. Is that an issue?
It is, Kevin. I can speak from experience. I can't imagine that the quarterback would have taken any reps with a 3rd-string center.
2 tight ends, and they blow that dead in mid-motion.
Well, you get great field position and a great return. You hate to start with an injury, now a penalty.
Ball starts. Offense. Center. Illegal snap. 5-yard penalty.
How about that? How you make a change at center and you have a penalty right off the get-go from the center. You see the penalty situation there, 2nd most in the NFL. It's something that's plagued this team for a number of years.
They only had 2 penalties last week in their win over Houston.
And that's one of the reasons why they won, Kevin. They took care of the football. They ran it well. That's something that Tom Cable can do as a play caller. He's a good play caller, particularly as it relates to the running game.
Chance Shillings becomes the extra receiver, bottom of your screen. 2nd down and 10, 4 in the secondary. Lead block by Lawton. And a Fargas run with the tackle made by Rude at about the 45-yard line and a gain of 5 yards.
And Kevin, this is one thing that they can do, and that's run the football. Despite the record, they're 10th in rushing right now. They're averaging 120 yards a game. They have 2 very capable backs in Justin Fargas and Darren McFadden. They have to be able to run the football against a Buc defense that has really struggled at stopping the run the last 3 weeks.
Buccaneers are going to stay in base defense on this 3rd and 5. McFadden has come in. There are 2 tight ends from the 46. The block by Gallery outside for McFadden with the beat on him is Cato June. He gets right back to the 45-yard line. May have carved out about a half yard, maybe 2 in fact. We'll spot him at about the 44. And they kind of waste, the Raiders do, that terrific 41-yard return by Justin Miller. They got to punt the ball.
And 3rd and 5 or less against this Tampa defense. It's a high percentage of man-to-man. You're going to have to defeat man coverage.
Second best punter in the NFL is out there, Shane Leckler. Deep back is Ike Hilliard. He's at the 10-yard line. This punt will come into the wind, and John Kondo with the long snap for Oakland. Knuckleball, beauty. And down by Stewart on the fly at about the 11-yard line or so. 34-yard well-placed punt by Leckler. So the Buccaneers started out with quarterback Jeff Garcia, tied for the fewest interceptions and is the 6th most accurate passer in the NFL. The interior offensive line has been solid, and of course that includes Davin Joseph. Wide receiver Antonio Bryant is having a career season, over 1,100 yards receiving, and he is the NFL's 10th leading receiver.
I don't imagine it'll take very long for them to go after that right corner of the Raiders, Stanford route, taking the place of Nnamdi Asomugha.
3 receivers, so the nickel secondary on 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Cadillac Williams, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. All kinds of guys in there like Richardson and Gerard Warren. The ball jarred free. On a gain of 2, they'll spot him at the 12-yard line. Also off the pile was Morrison. The defensive end, Derek Burgess, who is finally healthy, came up with 2 sacks last week against the Texans. Great game. Linebacker Kirk Morrison leads the Raider defense in tackles for the 3rd consecutive season. And Stanford route is starting for the Pro Bowler, Nnamdi Asomugha. He's got a bad neck. Not suited up today and active. 2nd down and 8. Now just 4 in the secondary for the Raiders. B.J. Askew, the fullback, is in. And Carnell Williams. And he was grabbed. He was hit by John Alston initially around the ankle after a gain of 5, and he's up to the 18-yard line.
And they seem out of sync right now in the running game. Not a lot of big runs from either back, particularly on the early downs. And you see right there Cadillac Williams, he's handled a much greater load than anyone expected coming off of that knee injury.
Four defensive backs, 3rd down, long 2. Couple tight ends in there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Williams brought down by Gerard Warren. He was slowed up on the play after a loss of 1 by Thomas Howard. So they've got to punt 3 plays and out, and they'll spot the ball back at the 17-yard line. A good defensive stand by Oakland.
A great defensive stand. Watch the patience and good pursuit angles. Look at Gerard Warren finishing down the line of scrimmage. They do a nice job holding and making sure that everybody is in a position to make a play.
So the punt will come from Josh Bidwell. And deep back will be Johnny Lee Higgins. Horrible hang time. Higgins going to wave it off, and the ball will be out of bounds at about the 36-yard line on a punt of 48 yards and a hang time of 2.6. 10:06 to play in the first. Another look at the Raider offense when we come back. Each team has had it 3 and out, both punting on their first possession.
And the Raiders have to take advantage of this good starting field position.
McFadden and Fargas are both in. McFadden, the rookie out of Arkansas, is the wingback. Starting defense out there. Play action by Jamarcus Russell. For McFadden. Covered by Piscatelli down the sideline. 2nd down and 10.
And this Raider defense spent most of the week trying to figure out a way to stop tight end Zach Miller. He's been a steady option all season long. He's given this offense a boost. Really a thing when he's in trouble. Jamarcus Russell is in trouble. He's going to turn and dump off passes inside that tight end Zach Miller.
I like the rhythm that the Raiders have established here with both Fargas and McFadden. They're using them better, aren't they?
And that's been part of the problem last week, trying to find a way to get both of these guys touches early in the game.
Schillens now comes in. 2 receivers. 2nd down and 10. This is Fargas. And Kevin Carter's on the top of that pile. Bottom of it was Derek Brooks. It's just a gain of 2 on the play. He's up to the 38-yard line.
And obviously a point of emphasis all week long for this Tampa defense has been run defense. And last week they did a better job. They held LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers to just 90 yards. Problem is they couldn't stop Phillip Rivers on 3rd down. They couldn't get off the field. That, too, has been a point of emphasis for the Bucs this week.
There will be 5 in the secondary. The rookie out of Kansas, Talib, checks in. And on the defensive line, they bring in Wilkerson. And they bring in White. 3rd down. Farkas in the backfield, a block by Henderson. Here comes the pass, incomplete for Johnny Lee Higgins, and the coverage by Rondé Barber. Another 3 and out for the Raiders on their 2nd possession.
And Jamarcus Russell's inexperience really shows up on 3rd down where they really struggled to converting Kevin just 27% of their opportunities. Not doing a very good job on 3rd down. And a lot of that comes with understanding the protection, being able to anticipate coverages in those situations.
Into the wind, a 2nd punt coming up for Shane Leckler. He's going to the Pro Bowl. His 4th, and deep back is Clifton Smith. He's going to the Pro Bowl, his 1st. He was on the practice squad most of this season. Almost blocked. Wilkerson just about got in there. Look at the hang time, and a fair catch made, 19-yard line. Hang time of 5.29. 42-yard punt by the Pro Bowler Leckler, who will be a free agent at the end of the season. 9:02 in the 1st. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, each team has had the ball twice by the Raiders. Each 3 plays punt. 2nd possession now for the Bucs. 3 plays punt the first time they had it. Leckler just had a beauty of a punt. 20-yard line for a fair punt. 1st down and 10. Williams bobbles the ball, gets back up, and then is doused. Hit by Richardson, banged by Chris Johnson. Loss of 3 on the play, and he's back to the 17-yard line.
Kevin, you talk about timing and rhythm in the passing game. It's also important in the running game. You see Cadillac there. He just takes his eyes, and he loses his focus for just a second. That ball comes out. This should never happen in run game footwork between the quarterback and the running back. That's got to get cleaned up. A critical mistake in that part of the field.
4 defensive backs on 2nd down and 13. Williams in the backfield. Askew is in motion. Galloway is among the receivers. Garcia, Cornell Williams, grabbed on the play by Morrison to the 20-yard line, pick up a 3, and back to the original line of scrimmage. Well, the Buccaneers in this December have allowed almost 300 yards rushing and losing to that Carolina Panther team, 38-23. Then in Atlanta, the Bucs took the Falcons to overtime, losing by 3. And then last week, the Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers threw 4 touchdowns in a 41-24 run. So it's 3rd down and 10. They go to 5 defensive backs in the secondary. Rout becomes the 5th defensive back. Miller is out there as well. You see the allotment of receivers. Dunn is at the side of Garcia. And he sets and throws, and that is caught by the tight end Stevens, who is brought down by Wilson. And about the 29, gain of 9, close to a 1st down. You'll have to see the spot of the ball. Looks like they're short and they're going to have to punt.
And they really like Jeremy Stevens. He's a huge target, Kevin, for a tight end. He runs good routes. He's catching the ball much better, but they come up about a half-yard short.
Another punt coming up for Josh Bidwell, who is 6th in the NFC in gross. And deep back is Johnny Lee Higgins. 3 punt return touchdowns this season. The record, by the way, a single season NFL record is 4. Economos with the snap. No hang time here. 33-yard line. Johnny Lee Higgins. And brought down about the 39-yard line and hit there by Hayward and brought down by the reserve tight end Gilmore. 7-yard return, 38-yard punt, 3 seconds on the hang. Not a lot of offense so far.
No, not doing a good enough job, Kevin, on the early downs. The Raiders have not had a lot of success converting 3rd and longs.
Jake Grove back in at the center. Bottom of your screen, McFadden is a receiver from the 39. 1st and 10. Top of your screen, they got Holland. Handoff to Fargas. Great hit put on in there by White. No gain on the play. Down at the 39-yard line. All right, the NFC playoff picture. A lot going on. Cowboys will be at Philadelphia. Giants and Minnesota will battle. Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears, and of course Dallas will be at Philadelphia, and the Bucs have got to win. They got to pray the Cowboys lose. Short and sweet, but with a lot of tentacles. 2nd down and 10. White remains at that defensive end. Lawton comes in as the fullback. Out of the backfield, McFadden. Grove with the block. With the beat on him is Cato June along with Barber. And they both make the stop at the 45-yard line on a catch and run of 6 yards.
And Kevin, as you mentioned, the critical games in the NFC North, or NFC that will determine the fate of a number of these teams. You look at the Buccaneers, we talked about this already. They need a win and a Dallas loss or a tie. Even though they hold the 6th spot right now, they still need some help. And the Vikings, they host the Giants. The Vikings they can clinch that NFC North with a win or a Chicago loss.
Talib, the nickelback in the defense for Tampa Bay. Wilkerson is one of the defensive tackles. Adams comes in at the left defensive end. 3rd down and 4, and a timeout taken by the Raiders. Russell had a tough time getting into that play. He'll talk it over with Tom Cable, and 5:25 in the first. Oh, it's over. It's not. Sign up for NFL.com's playoff challenge, where you can win a trip to the Super Bowl at NFL.com/fantasy. After the Raider timeout, 3rd and 4. Nickel secondary. McFadden, the running back, is a receiver bottom of his screen. Higgins in the slot. In the backfield, Fargas.
Got to beat man-to-man coverage on 3rd down. Got him with the hard count.
Adams is offside here. On the other side comes Greg White, but a flag is down at the 46-yard line.
And that's all for naught. That's going to go against the Buccaneers.
So you think they got him on the hard count?
I think they did. Must have talked about that on the sidelines. Good job by Jamarcus Russell.
Offside. Defense number 90. A 5-yard penalty that results in a 1st down.
Give me a hard count. I want to hear what it sounds like.
Well, you know, it's not like I've never practiced this before, but, you know, a good quarterback will get up there, understand the situation, will go through normally a color number sequence. Red 85. Red 85 said, hut, hut, hut. So that's how he's going to really draw him offside. And you have to help Mario Henderson, that left tackle. You have to help him with the snap count, Kevin. Slow down Gaines Adams.
First down of the game. Fargas in the backfield. Couple tight ends. 1st and 10.
Well, look at that penetration.
Great defense by Derek Brooks, the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year. It's a loss of 3. Back to the 47. To New York and James Brown.
All right, Kevin, take a look here as the Rams' Mark Bulger handing off to Steven Jackson. Strong 4-yard run to pay dirt. Rams leading it 7-3. And as you know, with the win and a Panthers loss, the Falcons moved to the 2nd spot in the 1st round bye. 3-0 Panthers in that game against the Saints. Back to Kevin and Rich.
Jackson, a pretty important guy for the Rams. That game's got some meaning.
Yeah, it does. How about the job, though, that Mike Smith has done with that football team there, and their young quarterback, Matt Ryan. What a great year.
2nd down, 13, 4 in the secondary. The pitch out to Michael Bush. Grove with the block and the gain to the 48-yard line. And he was hit on the play, it looked like, across the way by Wilkerson. Gain of 5 to the 48.
You know, a lot's been made down here of Tampa Bay. Ever since Monty Kiffin announced he was leaving, this defense has been nosediving. And, Kevin, it's been a problem. They've made a point of emphasis to try and stop the run. It's going to be important against the Raiders.
Boy, look at that horrible offense you see there in that lower 3rd. 3rd down, 8 to go. Nickel secondary, that means Talib is out there. Or is he? They just yanked him off the field. So 3rd and 8, they go with 4 in the secondary. McFadden was in the backfield. That's where the screen pass goes, and read beautifully by Derek Brooks. Only the 45 is where he drives to. It's a gain of 4, shy of the 1st down by 5, and they get a punt for a 3rd consecutive possession.
And this is something the Raiders do very well, particularly with Darren McFadden. He's a great screen runner. You see right there, penetration in the screen game usually gets you. Buccaneers do a good job sorting this one out. You see right there, Cooper Carlisle does not get the block to spring Darren McFadden.
Leckler to punt for a 3rd time. He'll try to knuckleball it in. Deep back is on Hilliard. Another beauty. Fair catch signaled for and allotted to Hilliard at the 10-yard line. Hang time of 5.3, 34-yard punt. Bucs will get it once again with 2:54 to play in the 1st.
The official
TV's classic word game is back with a modern twist. Play along with $1 Million Password tonight on CBS America's Most Watched Network. 3 Raider possessions, 3 consecutive punts, 2 Buccaneer possessions, 2 straight punts. Here they begin at their 10. John Gruden told you that the punting of Leckler will be huge in this game.
Well, it was a concern. He was all over the coverage units at practice on Friday. Field position critical against Shane Leckler. This Raiders offense, they said they gain 1 first down. Shane Leckler will come in and he'll pin you back in your own end zone.
10 in the backfield. Sands is coming on the defensive line. First down and 10. Warren Dunn, Askew with the block. And then he's brought down by Morrison after a gain of 3. Carves his way to the 13-yard line.
And Kevin, when I watch this Tampa run offense that's struggling right now, losing Ernest Graham and his physical presence in the running game has really hurt. They haven't gotten the same production out of Warwick Dunn and Cadillac Williams. That up inside the tackle physicalness, a guy that can move piles, they don't have him right now.
5 defensive backs. Carnell Williams is in. Dunn is out. 2nd down and 7. That play is blown dead. You know, the defense, it's a false start against Tampa Bay. Ron Winter is our referee.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
It's on Penn. The offense looks very flat. The defense has come out with some fire for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, they've played well. But, Kevin, I'm a little confused right now offensively with Tampa Bay. Antonio Bryant has been on fire the last 3 weeks. He has over 435 yards receiving. Nnamdi Asomugha, the best cover guy in the league, is out. And they're not even going after these guys through the air. You have to start attacking this Raiders secondary through the air.
5 defensive backs, 2nd down and 12 to Garcia. Dumps it off. Here is Dunn, has a lead block from Fain. And then brought down by Morrison, who is all over the field. The gain to the 12. He picks up 6. We take you to New York and James Brown.
Kevin and Rich, Bears need a win and a Minnesota loss to win the North. Take a look here. Kyle Orton, little fade pattern there, hooking up with Brandon Lloyd. And a field goal added by Robbie Gould makes it 10-0 Chicago. But is Minnesota cooperating? Well, right now, no score against the Giants. Kevin and Rich.
Great update. Thank you, JB. 3rd down and 7. Miller's come in as the nickel back. Dunn remains in the backfield with Garcia. Good block by Trueblood, and outside it goes. Caught by the tight end, Stevens. Upended by Jabril Wilson. The catch and run taken to the 32. A pickup of 19 on 3rd and 7.
And they have a zone pressure. Watch who's going to cover Jeremy Stevens. That's Jared Warren. And that is a mismatch. In a blitz zone scheme, you see the backside ends drop and the tackles come out, and you get a mismatch, the tight end on one of the inside tackles for that Raiders defense.
William Joseph now comes in on that defensive line along with Kelly. 1st down and 10. Williams in the backfield. 2 tight ends, but they're both blocking for Garcia. Here comes Tommy Kelly, and they force him out with Morrison at about the 35-yard line, 34-yard line. Mark it a scramble of 3 yards for 38-year-old Jeff Garcia.
And when I watch Jeff Garcia move around, I think about what John Gruden said to us on Friday. Mobility and creative playmaking are a big part of Jeff Garcia's game. And he said every play is a creative work of art with this guy. But right now, Kevin, to me, he looks a little gimpy. He's had a couple opportunities to pull the ball down and run, and he hasn't done it. That's not like Jeff Garcia.
Gunheim comes in, the rookie out of Washington, to take Burgess's place. Left defensive end, 2nd down and 7. Williams in the backfield. Smith, the tight end, in motion. Here comes Kelly. And that pass is caught at about the 34. Tackle made by Thomas Howard. And the catch was made by Carnell Williams with no gain. They'll stay at the 35. At the end of a scoreless game in Florida. 3 Raider possessions, 3 punts, 2 Buccaneer possessions, 2 punts. In the midst of their 3rd possession right now, Rob Ryan is the defensive coordinator for the Raiders. On this drive, a 19-yard catch and run by Stevens. 3rd down and 7. 5 in the secondary, ball at the 35. Dunn is in with Askew in the backfield around Garcia. A block by Penn. Here comes Burgess. They dump it out to Askew, the former Jet. Can't hang on. Incomplete. Another punt. The defense of Ryan and the Raiders have come to play today.
And the great thing that the Raiders are doing is they're getting pressure upfield, and they're not allowing Jeff Garcia to set his feet. Keep in mind, Kevin, Jeff Garcia is not the tallest guy. This lack of height affects his vision. As a result, he wants to move out of that pocket. The Raiders doing a good job flushing him, not allowing him to set his feet.
Bidwell to punt to Johnny Lee Higgins. Economos with the snap. Low punt again. No hang time. Higgins from the 29-yard line. He got by one defender. He is chased across the way, and Will Allen runs him out of bounds. And the gain takes him to the 41-yard line of the Buccaneers. A 30-yard return. Hang time of 3.3, 14:41 in the second. With Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, all we've had are punts. 3 possessions, Raiders, punt, punt, punt. Buccaneers have had it 3 times. 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 6 plays punt right there. Higgins returns at 31 yards, 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Michael Bush out of Louisville in the backfield. He goes into the secondary, and he is brought down on the play by the Buccaneer defensive back, Will Allen. Gain of 8. He's down to the 32-yard line. AFC, Baltimore today. They win and beat Jacksonville. They are in. How about that Miami-New York Jet battle in the Meadowlands? And then in Buffalo, the Patriots will play. And then really our first playoff game, the Denver Broncos against the San Diego Chargers tonight. A lot of interesting storylines going into today. Russell breaks the huddle on a 2nd down and 2. McFadden atop your screen. 4 in the secondary. Higgins at the bottom of your screen, and Fargas in the backfield. Fargas. There's a nice tackle on the play by Brooks. Gain of a yard on the play. Also, Hovan was in there, too. And let's take one more look at the AFC playoff picture.
Well, as you said, Kevin, a lot of this won't really be sorted out until later this evening. 2 key CBS games later this afternoon. That Jets-Miami game critical to determine what's going to happen in the AFC East. And certainly the Baltimore-Jacksonville game. Baltimore clinches a spot with a win or a New England loss.
Tenard Jackson back in. Will Allen is out at the safety. 3rd down, long 1. Bush in the backfield. Lawton is the fullback. There are 2 tight ends. Bush sledgehammering his way inside. Has the 1st down. Then a pile brings him back, including Jackson at the very top. They pick up 2. They're down to the 29. They get the 1st down.
Well, let's take a look at this Tampa Bay's defense. Okay, this Tampa 2 defense that they talk about down here. The defensive front is built for speed and quickness to get up the field. Conversely, on the other side of the ball, that Oakland offense, they're big guys and they're built for power to run right at you downhill. And that's what you're going to see. It's going to be a battle up front between that offensive line of the Raiders and that a smaller, quicker defensive line of the Buccaneers.
Schillens will be a receiver, along with Johnny Lee Higgins. The starting defensive line is in there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is a 1st down from the 29. Fake to Bush. Good block by the tight end, Miller. Right on the money, caught by Johnny Lee Higgins. Piscatelli brings him down. 12-yard line, picks up 17. That's a 1st down for the Raiders.
And Kevin, these young players of the Raiders have really stepped up. You see the protection there is great for Jamarcus Russell. Good throw to Johnny Lee Higgins. He's not the biggest guy, but Kevin, he scored 2 touchdowns last week, 1 in the return game and 1 as a receiver. He's made some big plays for this offense.
Will Allen is back in there, one of the safeties, coupled with Jackson. Piscatelli is out. Backfield is Bush. 1st and 10. Bush slicing his way, brought down by Allen at about the 6-yard line, and picks up 6 on the play. On this drive, a punt return of 31 by Johnny Lee Higgins. A catch moments ago is 17, and a powerful run by Bush right there of 6.
And the thing that the Raiders can do, Kevin, they keep rolling those running backs in there. They keep them fresh. We talked about Fargas, Darren McFadden. Now you're seeing a little bit of a heavy dose of Michael Bush. All 3 backs bring a little something different to the party.
Piscatelli remains out. Allen remains in at the safety. Higgins the bottom of his screen. Schillens on top. 2nd down and 4. Bush remains the back. Follows the block of Lawton. Slices inside the 5. At the bottom of that pile around his ankles is Chris Hovan on a gain of 3 to the 3.
And the Buccaneers were fooling themselves that they felt like the Raiders were going to come in here and roll over, Kevin. The Raiders, these players and coaches, they know what's at stake. They're playing for their jobs. They realize what's at stake. Certainly the Buccaneers, we've talked about the significance of this game as it relates to their playoff hopes.
Another tight end has been brought in for the Raiders. Mass defensive substitutions for the Buccaneers. Now they go into the nickel. 3rd down and 1.
Full down territory.
Bush remains the I-back. And again, the 2 tight ends. Bush, Lawton with the block. Bush diving, digging, and he is in for the touchdown. A 4-yard touchdown punt by Michael Bush in his first full season in the NFL. His 2nd career rushing touchdown.
And when you play this Raider offense, you have to be able to stop this power play. You see the lead there by Luke Lawton, and you get that big fullback, Michael Bush, pounding it up inside, found right tackle Cornell Green.
And there were some big plays on that drive. We told you about Higgins with his punt return of 31 yards, which got him to the 40 to begin with. He caught a pass for 17 to Johnny Lee Higgins. Bush had a run of 6. He gets a run with 4 right there for the touchdown. And now the extra point by Janikowski on the hold by Leckler, and 10:36 remaining in the second quarter. In a must game for the Buccaneers to stay alive in the playoff picture. They're down to the Raiders 7-0. It is a perfect day for football here in Tampa, Florida. Can you believe that? The first rushing touchdown they've allowed at home all season long.
Talks about how good that Tampa Bay run defense was the first 12 weeks of the season, Kevin. They've fallen off certainly the last 3.
Here's the kickoff by Janikowski, number 4 in touchbacks in the NFL. That is number 20 right there. Smith doing E. He'll leave it in the end zone. Out to the 20 when we come back. Garcia's hands are full right now. 10:36 to play in the first half, and he's down by a touchdown. It's been a field position gain moments ago. A 4-yard touchdown run by Michael Bush of the Raiders. Kickoff by Janikowski. Touchback, 21st and 10. Cornell Williams in the backfield. Regular defensive personnel out there for the Raiders. 25-yard line, and on the tackle was Morrison along with Howard. It's a gain of 5, and he's up to the 25-yard line. The Sprint halftime report being put together for you right now in our CBS studios in New York. JB and Company news, scores, and the playoff picture. Sprint halftime is coming up next. Williams remains in the backfield. In the defensive line, they've got Turdell Sands at one tackle, Joseph at the other. 2nd down and 5. Here comes Jabril Wilson on the blitz. The long pass incomplete for Antonio Bryant. The coverage by Stanford Route, a track star at Houston. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
And this is the frustrating thing right now for Jeff Garcia and the Bucs, Kevin. They're not finding a way to get Antonio Bryant going in this game. He's yet to catch a ball, and we're already into the second quarter here. You got to get your playmakers involved in the game early, particularly a guy like Antonio Bryant. You can almost see the frustration on John Gruden's face.
Rashad Baker will now come in as a 5th defensive back. 3rd down and 5. Ike Hilliard comes in as one of the receivers. Michael Clayton out there as well. Dunn in the backfield. The block by Penn. Garcia sure leaves that pocket. He vacates it early, doesn't he? Here's the throw caught by Clayton. Rashad Baker makes the stop. What a great play by Garcia. He's down to the 46 on the catch and run of 29 and a 1st down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, Kevin, Jeff Garcia is quick to move around the pocket, even when the protection is good. And this obviously affects the timing and the rhythm of the passing game. But what he does, he buys extra time. He has the ability to extend the play. You see right here, Michael Clayton doing a good job fighting through those linebackers and giving Jeff Garcia an outlet.
1st down and 10 from the 46-yard line. It's done. And he is down to the 43. Hit by Wilson. Grabbed on the play by Morrison. Gain of 4 to the 43-yard line. Wilson's been a nice pickup. He and Morrison co-lead this team, this Raider defense in tackles.
And Kevin, they've been playing better the last couple of weeks. You go back to their win last week against Houston. They were a hot football team coming into Oakland. Matt Schaub was playing very well. They really got after that Houston offense and really had a great game against a very good team.
4 in the secondary, 3 linebackers, 2nd down and 6. And a great move by the veteran, Dunn. Grabbed around the ankle by Richardson, down to the 30, a sprint of 12 yards, a Buccaneer 1st down to New York and JB.
Hey, Kevin, Minnesota with the win can clinch the NFC North. Take a look. Adrian Peterson doing his part, bursting through the hole, 67 yards to pay dirt. 10-0 Vikes over the Giants. Longest run this season for the Vikes. And look at Chicago battling hard as well on top of Houston. 10-0 as well. Kevin and Rich.
Boy, a lot on the line in the NFC North. Thank you, JB. 1st down and 10 after the 12-yard gain with 2 tight ends. Here's the handoff again to Dunn. Tackled around the ankles by Johnson. He slithers his way to the 23. He picks up 7, and there is a flag thrown on the play. Warrick Dunn began his career with the Buccaneers, last handful of seasons with Atlanta.
We're going to get a receiver right here for a false start.
Offense number 85. The 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
I would say pretty important for the Buccaneers to respond to the Raiders' rushing touchdown with a good-looking offensive drive of their own.
Yeah, you always want to get off to good starts. That's something that John Gruden preached when he was my coach in Oakland. And Kevin, to let a team come in here right now with a 4-11 record and really take control of this game in the first half is not the way he saw this thing playing out. Miller comes in as the nickel for the Raiders. First down and 15 back at the 35. Dunn remains in the game. Hilliard is one of the 3 receivers. That's caught by Antonio Bryant. Brought down by Hiram Eugene. And Jabril Wilson, 16-yard pickup on this drive. 29-yard catch and run by Clayton. 12-yard run by Dunn. And a 16-yard reception right there by Bryant. And that's what you need to see more of from Jeff Garcia. Put your foot in the ground, trust the protection, and let go of the football on time. You got a big player like Antonio Bryant. We talked about 435 yards receiving the last 3 weeks. You got to find a way to pump him the ball. 4 defensive backs. First down and 10 from the 19. Dunn remains. And the call. Askew with the lead block. Around his ankles, he finds Jabril Wilson for a gain of 3 on the play, and he's down to about the 16-yard line. When you talk about this Tampa Bay offense, one of the bright spots has been the play of the offensive line this year. Did a nice job of putting this group together. Still very young. 4 of the 5 players up front there have 3 years or less experience. This is going to be a good group down the road. Look at Davin Joseph and Jeff Fain and Sears and Trueblood and Penn. It's a good young group up front for the Bucs. Joseph and Warren are the 2 defensive tackles. Richardson, along with Burgess, the 2 defensive ends for the Raiders. Second down and 7. Dunn remains, 2 tight ends. Garcia had Bryant, who is covered by Chris Johnson. Incomplete pass. And 3rd and 7. And when you have him open like this, Kevin, you got to find a way to hit him. I mean, this is wide open right here. You see Antonio Bryant working to the cornerback, and one of the reasons they've struggled in the red zone, 2 reasons. They've missed too many opportunities through the air. The quarterbacks and receivers are just off a little bit, and their inability to run the football down here with some power. That's why they're struggling in the red zone. 5th defensive back is brought in by the Raiders. 3rd and 7. 9th play of the drive. Hilliard and Galloway, 2 of the receivers. Dunn at the side of Garcia. Fain with the snap. That's Ike Hilliard right in front of Rashad Baker. 9-yard line, close to a first down, and a gain on the play of about 7 yards. And this is a good job by Ike Hilliard understanding the type of coverage. It was zone coverage. You're going to watch him come out of his cut, and he comes out under control, letting Jeff Garcia stop him with the throw. Good alert play by Ike Hilliard. Grayson Gunheim comes in on that defensive line for the Raiders at the left defensive end for Burgess. Carnell Williams in the backfield. 1st and goal at the 9. Clayton is in motion. 4 in the secondary. Askew with the block. Oh, he's going to slice his way in. That's Cadillac Williams driving for 9 in the touchdown. This is all by design. Look, the run's going to start here. It's going to wind all the way back. They do a great job setting the front, and then Cadillac Williams with great vision, but that was by design to wind that ball all the way back to the backside. And really a huge touchdown to answer the Raiders' rushing touchdown at the other end. Kevin, they needed something positive to happen here. They've been really struggling with their confidence on both sides of the football. Well, that was a 10-play, 80-yard drive, about 5 minutes on the clock. Clayton had a catch and run of 29 yards, a 10-yard run, a 12-yard run by Dunn, a 16-yard catch by Bryant. Here's the extra point by Matt Bryant, and a 9-yard touchdown run by Cadillac Williams. That's his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. 5.5 to play in the half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Amway. Say hello to the company that helps over 3 million people own their own business. And by the all-new Dodge Ram.
Aerial coverage of today's game being brought to you by DirecTV. These beautiful scenics on a gorgeous day in Tampa. Buccaneers just scored in a long 80-yard drive, 9-yard touchdown run by Carnell Williams. That came in the wake of a 4-yard touchdown run by the Raiders' Michael Bush, which began at the Buccaneer 40 because of the great punt return by Johnny Lee Higgins. Now the ensuing kickoff. That's a look at Justin Miller. He's got 2 kickoff returns for the Raiders this season. Into the wind. Little chip shot. Inside the 20 is Justin Miller. Got a block from Bush. Being chased by Mack. Whipped around. Stays on his feet. High steps his way into a tackle across the way made by Dante Nicholson. Gain of 9. Now they're a little chippy after the play. This game means a lot to both these teams. And this Buccaneer team means a lot to Tiger Woods, who is here. He's become a very close confidant of John Gruden, the Buccaneer coach.
Well, the world's greatest golfer happens to be a good friend of John Gruden and the Buccaneers. Kevin, you're right. And they struck up a friendship this offseason. Tiger actually showed up at training camp. They had the opportunity to sit down and ask each other questions. And John Gruden told me, he said, I couldn't ask him and get enough information out of him the time that I had with him. He's a big fan. And he really says Tiger Woods out on the golf course is like an assassin. I mean, he has that mindset, and he wants his players to embrace that as well.
First down and 10 from the 26, and outside it goes. It's Johnny Lee Higgins. He goes around the former Raider Buchanan. He's brought down by Barrett Ruud. It is a gain of 8. He's up to the 34-yard line. I can only imagine what it's like inside a meeting with those two guys, as intense as they both are, Gruden and Woods.
Yeah, John said he pulled out a notebook. He started taking notes. He started asking him different things that Tiger goes through in terms of his preparation each week. And that's the thing that John said he really admires about Tiger, his preparation for each event.
Bush in the backfield, 2 tight ends, second down and 2. Michael Bush. And tripped up on the play as he approached the line of scrimmage, hit by Brooks among others. He picks up a yard on the play, and he's up to about the 35. Still a yard shy, so it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Well, there's a guy right there that's really set the standard for the position in this defense. And you know, he talked to me the other day about every snap has to be an impact snap. He's not playing every snap like he used to in terms of 3rd down. It is a situational game, but when he's out there, he wants every snap to be an impact snap.
Wilkerson, Hovan, Sims, and White on the defensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 4 defensive backs, 3rd down and 1, 2 tight ends, Bush in the backfield. That's the quarterback keeper with Jamarcus Russell. Looks like he's moved the pile, and he's up to the 37. He picks up 2. And has a first down. When we're talking about the Raiders, this place is not the same today because the owner of the Raiders, Al Davis, is not here. A man who is legendary in the history of the National Football League, who Tom Cable hopes to meet with after the season to become the permanent head coach. I know you know Mr. Davis, and he's watching back in Oakland today. We send our best wishes to him. Someone told me only the 2nd game he has missed since the late 70s.
Yeah, right, Kevin. Certainly our thoughts and well wishes go out to one of the game's greats. And that you're right, 2nd time. I think just 1979, his wife was sick. He missed a game. She is here today along with his son, so he is being represented.
First down and 10. And Holland is one of the receivers. Russell going deep. Look at this throw for Watkins. Incomplete. Going for Todd Watkins. This guy's arm is unbelievable. You should have heard Gruden talking about him at the combine.
Yeah, he said when he worked him out at the combine, he said the ball came out like a rocket. I mean, look, he's moving to his right. This thing probably goes down the field 60 yards. The receivers just got to keep on running. He'll get you the ball. I mean, and the thing that's been impressive about him, Kevin, the last couple of weeks, I've studied him. 2 big positives as far as I'm concerned. First of all, he's starting his 15th game this week, 15 of 16. The other thing, he's thrown just 7 interceptions this year, really as a first-year starter.
Receivers are Schillens and Holland, 2nd and 10. Nothing to Zach Miller, the tight end, the leading receiver for the team. And here's a run by Bush, and he hops over a defender. He's up to the 37-yard line. And he's brought down there by Sims, and he is hit on the play by Cato June. No gain.
And Kevin, this right now is a problem for the Raiders. These 3rd and 10s, they failed to convert the last 44. They've gone 44 straight 3rd and 10 or more and haven't converted. And this is where, as a quarterback, you make your money. You have to understand the protection. You have to understand the defense, the schemes, the fronts, and the coverages, and really get yourself in a situation where you have a chance to have success.
Gaines Adams is now coming at the left defensive end. It is 3rd down and 10. 2 tight ends, Bush at the side of the quarterback. The block by Cornell Green. That's caught by Johnny Lee Higgins, and reading it well is Rondé Barber, the multiple all-pro player. It's a 3-yard gain. He's to the 40-yard line. Looks like They're going to be shy of the first down by 7 yards, and a timeout taken by the Buccaneers at 2:26 to play in the first half. Raiders have got a punt. Leckler, the Pro Bowler, punting to another Pro Bowler. Rookie Clifton Smith. He is the number 2 punt return man in the NFL. Look at this punt by Leckler. Oh, my goodness. 60 yards. Hang time of 4.8. Looking over at Gruden, who drafted him, and saying, wow. That's what I'm going to say, too. What a great punt by Leckler. Touchback to the 20-yard line. Buccaneers will get it. Tuesday on CBS, a star-studded night of spectacular performances as America pays tribute to Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, Morgan Freeman, Barbara Streisand, and more. The Kennedy Center Honors. That's Tuesday on CBS, America's most watched network. With Super Bowl quarterback Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan. We're in Tampa, Florida. We're tied at 7. Rushing touchdown by Bush of 4 yards. Rushing touchdown by Cadillac Williams of 9.
This is one area, Kevin, they've been very efficient. The 2-minute offense has Tampa Bay.
5 defensive backs open up for the defense of the Raiders. Hilliard is in the slot position along with Clayton and Bryant. 1st and 10. Garcia throws. Incomplete. I think he was looking for Bryant. He had linebackers around him. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The Buccaneers have 2 timeouts remaining.
And what happened, Thomas Howard was trying to get out to the flat to cover the back. He winds up running right into the receiver. Threw up the timing a little bit there in the passing game.
What is it like as a quarterback to play for John Gruden, who we know has a history of being tough on quarterbacks?
Well, you better have thick skin and you better be able to take coaching. But the thing I knew, Kevin, with him every week, I felt like I was the most prepared player on the field. He has a great passion for the game.
5 in the secondary, down in the backfield, 2nd down and 10. Those receivers out of bounds. He was covered by Justin Miller in the receiver. There's a flag. Was he pushed out of bounds? Antonio Bryant was in the sights of Garcia.
Yeah, that's going to be on the Buccaneers, Kevin. That's going to be on Antonio Bryant. He was out of the field to play. He came back in and touched it. You can't be the first one to touch it. You have to know the rules and you have to know where you're at on the field.
Illegal touch of a forward pass. Offense number 89 went out of bounds. Came back inbounds, was the first to touch the ball. That penalty is declined.
And you have to know where. And look at that. You have to know where you're at on the field. And as a quarterback, it's so important for the receivers to give you some room on the sidelines. Antonio Bryant is a veteran guy. You have to give me 3 or 4 yards. If you run the ball right up on the boundary, you give me no margin for error.
Scott, Kelly, Warren, and Burgess on the defensive line. 3rd down and 10. Nichols secondary for the Raiders. See the allotment of receivers done in the backfield with Garcia. Good block by Joseph. Here comes Garcia's got to get to the 30, and down he goes. Hit on the play by Howard. Rushed on the play by Huff. It's a 2-yard gain. They got a punt. They'll spot the ball at about the 22. The 2-minute warning in Tampa. The Raiders and Bucs. 2 rushing touchdowns each way. Hey, you know, Gruden was talking about, a position game with punting and special teams. He's been right on the money because it's really favored the Raiders today.
Well, they've set a record for most return yards in a season. Johnny Lee Higgins and Justin Miller, they've had a lot to do with that.
Bidwell to punt. Rush came on from Scott. Deep back, Johnny Lee Higgins. Back to the 29. Got a block on the play from Huff. And then is brought down about the 41-yard line and hit there by Wilkerson. 13-yard return, 50-yard punt. Hang time of 4.0. And look at this with 2 minutes or less to remain in the half.
Well, a lot of this has to do with experience. This guy over here has played 10 years. This guy just 2 years. And that has a lot to do with that situation, Kevin. Understanding 2-minute football, there's a lot that entails. And again, for Jamarcus Russell, it's probably just a matter of reps. Doing it over and over again in game-like situations.
4 in the secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the defensive line, they're going to have the timeout. I think the Buccaneers just called a timeout. Why, though? They just got their defense out there. 1:49 in the first half. The Sprint halftime is coming up next from New York. JB, Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher. Scores, news, highlights, the playoff picture. The Sprint halftime coming up next on CBS. 4 defensive backs. Wilkerson is on that defensive line at one end. White at the other. Miller in motion. They haven't thrown to him today. Bush in the backfield. 1st and 10. Bush, who had the rushing touchdown. Lutton and Green are there to have blocks, and on his back, gains Adams, trips him up, gain of 6 to the 45.
Now, you just don't see a sense of urgency from the Raiders right now. Look at them.
I don't see a sense of urgency in the offense of the Buccaneers either. But I do on their defense, on the Tampa Bay defense. In Monty Kiffin's last regular season game, I do see it there.
I see the Buccaneers defense playing a little more energy. I'd like to see more of that out of the offense of the Buccaneers.
Watkins, bottom of your screen, 2nd down 4 in the secondary. Bush again plows his way ahead. He's up to about the 45. He was hit on the play by Wilkerson, and Savvy Piscatelli was there. No gain on the play. Staying at the 45, and a look at Janikowski. He has tried a field goal this year of 76 yards. His career long this year of 57. He was hitting 60-plus yard field goals before the game, and we had our cameras going then. But in week 4, San Diego at Oakland, Janikowski attempted a 76-yard field goal at the end of the first half. And as you can see, it was caught inside the 5.
Kevin, I'm a little surprised with the play calling here. 2 runs in this situation. You have a chance to take a lead here at halftime. You're not really being aggressive enough, in my opinion. They need more production through the air. I mean, a year ago, they were 31st in passing. This year, they're dead last. As well as they run the ball, the play-action game should be huge.
2 tight ends. Johnny Lee Higgins is a receiver, as is Shillings. 3rd down and 4. Look at them all up front. 4 in the secondary. Good block by Cooper Carlisle. That is caught by Shillings. Pushed out of bounds by Talib. And it's a 19-yard gain. He gets out of bounds. He gets into field goal territory at the 36.
And good job finding the rookie and going after him. And Kevin, look at the protection. The protection has been great. He's had plenty of time to set his feet. It's a good route by Chaz Shillings. Good job using the boundary by Jamarcus Russell. Kevin, keep in mind, when you look at this year that Jamarcus Russell has had, 3 things jump out at him. He's had 3 different play callers. No help from the wide receiver position, and major problems at the offensive tackle, protection issues, and yet he's hung in there and battled through it.
All right, Fargas comes in as a running back. McFadden comes down to the bottom of his screen. Higgins at the top, 1st and 10. Russell will give it a shot in the end zone. And he's got Zach Miller grabbed by Piscatelli. Down inside the 10 into the 8. 28-yard catch and run by the leading receiver. Right on the money with the throw is Russell. 1st and goal. First and goal, they make the spike. It'll become 2nd down and goal at the 8. What is going on in the secondary for the Buccaneers with a great play call by Tom Cable right there?
Well, you could go back and look at the all-22 here. Here's Zach Miller. He's going to come down the field. He's going to come down the field here, and he's going to start over, and then he works right back. This is a route the Raiders have tried that the Bucs worked on all week. Look, there's no one even there in coverage. They have a blown assignment in the coverage at a critical juncture in the football game.
Oakland's got 1 timeout. What did we say at the very top of the broadcast? We're seeing light at the end of the tunnel for the Raiders. They won last week. They played better the last month, and here they go now, lining up. With Shillings, the rookie, with the catch. 2nd down and goal. In the backfield is Bush. He has 1 touchdown run, banging his way. He was hit by Jackson, brought down by Hoven. Gain of 5. Mark him at the 3, and a timeout taken by the Raiders, burning their last timeout. 35 seconds with catches of 19 by Shillings and 28 by Zach Miller. And here they go, deep into Tampa Bay territory.
And Kevin, I don't know if there's something wrong with Justin Fargas, but we're seeing a lot of Michael Bush, and he is running with power right now behind those big pads. And you see Tom Cable. Here's an old offensive line coach who believes in the physical approach of running the ball right downhill at you.
Now, Cable wants to stay the head coach. A win today will go a long way in helping Al Davis figure out who he wants to lead this team come next season.
Well, he's 3-8 since taking over for Lane Kiffin, and you know, one way or another, there are going to be changes on the staff, even if Tom Cable is retained. And you know, a lot of these coaches weren't really hired by him or brought in by him, but I think he's done a stellar job. He stepped into a very difficult situation. He's made changes along the way, and I think these players really believe in the job that Tom Cable has done.
Starting defensive line is out there for the Buccaneers. They got the nickel secondary. It's 3rd down and goal. In the backfield is Bush. There are a couple tight ends. And you see the 3 wideouts. Russell, he's hit by Adams. He throws, and it's a touchdown. Shillings, a 3-yard hit. He caught a touchdown last week, the first of his career. 2nd consecutive game. They beat Barber in the secondary, and the Raiders have cashed play, and they march downfield and get 6.
Two things. Great protection. He's got plenty of time, and there's confusion. We've seen this a number of times in that Buccaneers secondary, Kevin. It's a veteran player like Rondé Barber right there, and they're not getting things passed off.
How about Russell? And here is the extra point with 30 seconds to play. Schillens also had a key third down catch in the drive of 19. A 28-yard catch by Miller got him first and goal, and a 3-yard touchdown pass to Schillens for the second consecutive week. The rookie Schillens out of San Diego State makes a touchdown grab.
Well, Kevin, good things happen for the Raiders when they're able to run the ball effectively. And now that they're doing that, it's giving them some opportunities in the play-action game, and it's also giving him some time to set his feet back there. And he's done a nice job finding Chaz Schillens today, as well as Johnny Lee Higgins.
So when you're watching tape of Russell this week, and you've watched a lot of tape on this kid, you see growth, you see development.
I do. I mean, the things that jumped out at me, the first thing is his ability to line up and play every week. He's been injured, he's been nicked, but he's hung in there and he's battled. He's done a good job taking care of the football. The other thing, Kevin, it's clear he doesn't have a lot of confidence in the wide receivers. You just look at the pass distribution. The top 2 receivers are the tight end Miller and the running back McFadden. And why should he? I mean, the top 3 receivers to start the season, Walker, Lee, and Curry, didn't deliver. They combined for just 45 catches, and that's why we're seeing these young receivers like Higgins and Schillens.
All right, now take me on the Tampa Bay side. This game they've got to win to stay in the playoff picture, but they've not come out with what you would think they would come out with in a game so important.
They look to me a little lethargic offensively. The defense has played okay. They've given them a couple passes there, but at least they're playing with some energy and some passion. Offensively, you can't say the same.
Here's the kickoff now by Janikowski. A touchback last time. Drives this one into the end zone, and it will be taken out by Clifton Smith, 3 yards deep. He runs into his own blocker, Alex Smith. Holland was there to make it there, too. It is a 25-yard return, and he is out to the 22-yard line. CBS Sports jumps into the bowl season on December 31st with the Brute Sun Bowl, where Oregon State will battle Pitt. And then on New Year's Day, the Nebraska Cornhuskers tackle the Clemson Tigers in the Konica Minolta Gator Bowl. That's on CBS. You see the receivers deployed. There's a nickel secondary for the Raiders. It's first down and 10 from the 22 with Garcia. Awaiting the snap from Fain. Hand off to Dunn. Blocked by Joseph. Tackle made by Kelly and by Jabril Wilson on a gain of a yard to the 23. They're going to be booed off the field.
And John Gruden cannot be happy with that first half performance. Not what you expect from a football team, Kevin, that's really fighting for their playoff hopes.
Raiders have looked terrific today. A 4-yard touchdown run by Bush. A 3-yard touchdown pass from Russell to Schillens. Buccaneers scored in the second quarter on a 9-yard touchdown run by Cornell Williams. This will surprise some people coast to coast in the NFL today.